Hey, what's up, guys? I hope everything's going all right on that side of the screen. Patrick here. I've got my brother Preston with me tonight. We're hanging out at a family gathering. Tonight was my dad's 60th birthday party, so got to see some friends and family. Thought I'd get Preston on here to talk a little bit about beards and talk a little bit about some lifestyle things. Preston's 7 years younger than I am, which makes him
31.
31. He is married and has, what, 4 kids now?
4 kids.
He caught up with me finally. Preston started growing his beard out. Well, tell us. When did you start growing your beard?
Started growing my beard in about November of last year, October, November of last year, but shaved it completely off in April. So April 4th, I was completely clean shaven, and ever since that, it's been growing out.
So you're looking at about 8 months of beard growth?
8 months it is.
All right. Preston's a craftsman. You've seen some of my beard oil videos where I've mixed up some various recipes. Preston works with wood. Tell us a little bit about what you do for your job and what you do as hobbies too.
My job is product design and marketing for a hardwood furniture company in Ohio here. And as a hobby, I enjoy just anything that has to do with working with hands, whether it's mechanical work on vehicles, whether it's fixing up old Airstreams, whether it's making beard combs, anything like that.
Preston got a beard comb from his wife for your birthday?
For my birthday.
In October. And we started looking at it, and Preston immediately cut out a little prototype. And he texted me the other day and said, if you bring me some of that Bear Fat beard oil, I'll trade you a beard comb for a bottle of that Bear Fat beard oil. That sounded like a pretty sweet deal to me. So I've got a handcrafted cedar and walnut beard comb, which is just fantastic. When you comb your beard, you can actually smell the cedar, which is just hard to beat that. So thank you for that. I think I got the better end of that deal.
How does that?
So you like things that are unusual. For example, your RV, your camper is unlike any that I've ever seen. What is it, 1970s? Tell us a little bit about your camper.
It's a 1973 Airstream Argosy, 26-foot travel trailer, and right now it's the ugliest camper in the campground, but it tends to get the most questions in the campground also. Almost
nothing you do is something that's super popular and common. The cars that you like are uncommon. The things that you kind of have a fondness for tend to be niche. So does being a beardsman and having an unusual beard, does that kind of play into that at all, do you think?
Yeah, it certainly does. It's interesting to be walking through a parking lot and see a fellow beardsman holler across the parking lot, "Hey, good beard!" So there's things like that I enjoy about it.
So you're in business. Have you been in business situations where you feel like the beard has been a hindrance?
No.
None?
No. It always creates conversation, which is never a bad thing in business.
Because that's one thing that a lot of beardsmen face is some kind of repercussions from other business associates. In some industries, it's very difficult to be bearded and to be accepted as part of that industry. You're fortunate in the furniture industry to be, it's not seen as being, outside of the norm. Although you certainly have a beard that is abnormal, and it's more majestic than most. But you're in an industry that's pretty friendly to it, I'd say.
Sure.
So do you think that if you were to pitch furniture design, build, a sales meeting, basically a sales meeting, if you were to pitch a, very successful conservative bank, for example, everybody's got blue suits, red ties, white shirts, what are you feeling when you walk in there with your beard?
I guess I'd look at it kind of like I look at our furniture. There's a lot of people building furniture, building just kind of the standard run-of-the-mill furniture. What we'd like to provide people with is a way to get outside of the norm, a better process, and maybe wake them up to the opportunity of something different in furniture, whether it be for a bank or a hotel or whatever it is. So I think just simply by having something out of the norm in their face, it might get them to think that way. I say that, but I've never had that experience, so that's an assumption.
So beards are often seen as being maybe a little sloppy or unkempt, or people who the non-bearded tend to see bearded people as, well, couldn't you just shave, or didn't you have time to shave? That's a comment that's not unusual. Did you lose your razor? That kind of thing. When in fact we all know that it takes a lot more, as bearded folks know that it takes a lot more work to be groomed and to be presentable with a beard. One thing I've thought about is that being bearded as a bearded professional, that it may actually be an indicator of status or achievement, that I am good enough at what I do that I am free to be bearded, and I am still seen as valuable and desired in the marketplace, despite the fact that I present myself in this rather unusual way. So maybe beards are a status symbol. Hadn't thought of that, but what do you think about that?
It's a symbol of patience. I mean, how long did it take to grow that? 6 months?
True. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So lots of things to consider as bearded professionals, or as Eric Bandhold talks about, urban beardsmen, beardsmen who care about their style, etc. So
I do find it very important to keep it groomed, because I think the business scenario that you talk about can be completely different whether you would walk in with a big beard that's not groomed versus a big beard that is. Fun.
I have another question for Preston. Beardsmen tell me sometimes that they face opposition from their loved ones. Tell me about that. What's your wife think about your beard?
She just told one of the other ladies at church that her husband has a fairly up-and-coming beard, and she said, believe it or not, it kind of grows on you. So as long as I keep my mustache trimmed back, I can't get away with a mustache like that, but as long as I keep it trimmed back, she's good with it.
Well, very good. Glad to know that. And of course, my lovely wife, who's behind the camera, shout out to her. She does. She says she likes my beard and even my mustache most days. It's certainly a labor of patience to stay groomed when you've got that kind of thing going on. So
I did promise my wife one thing, and that is that I won't get to the point where it takes me longer to get ready with my beard than it does her. So
I think we're about at parity, my wife and I, when it comes to getting ready. I think kind of grooming this takes about the same amount of time as it takes her to apply her.
It's certainly
her
getting
makeup.
close.
Yeah, so we may be onto something. If once you kind of reach that tipping point, you might have to look at that.
Cut back a little bit.
Cool. Well, I hope everything continues to go well for everybody. Merry Christmas from the bearded Miller brothers here, and beard on.